My fiancé's parents demanded I sign a contract giving them my entire salary. My fiancée said, "Just sign it." I replied, "Let me get a pen." Then I walked out. I'm 30 male, and I'm a software engineer. I'm a logical person. I build secure systems. I make good money, and I thought my life was just as solid. My fiancée and I were 6 months out from our wedding. I see the red flags now, of course. They were always there. I just thought they were beige. The way her mother was obsessed with my contribution to the wedding budget. The way my fiancée just folded anytime her parents had an opinion. "It's just easier, babe," she'd say. "They're just traditional." That tradition finally came for me last Saturday. We were at her parents' house for dinner, just the four of us at their big, polished table. Her father, a guy who always looks like he's judging your stock portfolio, clears his throat. "Son," he says, "I hate when he calls me that. We're glad you're joining the family. But with that comes responsibilities. We believe in protecting this family. All of it." His wife, my future mother-in-law, just smiles. It's a thin, tight smile that never reaches her eyes. She slides a heavy, leather-bound folder across the table. It thuds. It wasn't a prenup. I was open to a prenup. This was something else. I open it. The title on the first page is Family Stewardship and Financial Covenant. I start to read. My blood doesn't run cold. It just stops. It wasn't a prenup, which divides assets in case of divorce. This was a contract for the marriage. It stipulated that upon our wedding day, my entire paycheck would be contributed via direct deposit into a newly formed family trust. This trust would be managed exclusively by her father as a primary steward. It gets worse. The covenant stated that all my existing assets, my 401k, my brokerage account, my savings, even the deed to my condo, which I bought before I met her, would be signed over and pooled into this trust. From this trust, he would pay all our bills. And then it said, an allowance commensurate with family needs and performance will be disbursed on a bi-weekly basis to me and my fiancée. An allowance. I am 30 years old. There was a clause, a tiny clause on page 4, a management fee, 20% of all pooled assets annually payable to her parents for their financial expertise and stewardship. I stop reading. The silence in the room is so thick, I feel like I'm underwater. I look up. They're all watching me. Her father, expectant. Her mother, with that terrifying smile. And my fiancée, she's just staring at her empty plate. This is a joke, right? My voice sounds hollow. We do not joke about family security. Her father says, his voice booming. This is how we ensure our daughter and your future children are never left wanting. It's how we build a legacy. A legacy? I say, holding up the packet. This is indentured servitude. You want me to sign over my entire life. It's a sign of commitment. Her mother chirps. If you really love her, you want to prove you're all in, that you trust us to manage things. I turn to my fiancée. She won't look at me. Honey, I say, are you seeing this? Are you okay with this? She takes a shaky breath. She finally looks up. Her eyes are not scared. They're not angry. They're pleading and cold. It's just paper, babe, she says, her voice quiet. My dad is amazing with money. He's done so well for us. It's just for security. It's what's best for the family. I stare at her. The woman I thought I knew is gone. He wants 20%. I say, a 20% fee to steal my own money. It's not stealing. It's management, her father barks. You ungrateful. Just sign it. My fiancée interrupts. Her voice is suddenly hard. Please? Don't make this a thing. Don't ruin this. Just sign it. That was it. The click. The sound of the entire system I'd built my life on locking into place. I saw it all. The traditional family. The easier path. Her folding. It wasn't weakness. It was a business strategy. I looked at the contract. I looked at her father. I looked at her mother. And I looked at her. I smiled. A real, Genuine smile. You're right, I said. This is a big step. Let me get a pen. Her father's face broke into a triumphant grin. Her mother sighed with relief. My fiancée just nodded, already looking back down at her plate. I think I left my good one in the car, I said. I stood up. I pushed my chair in, nice and quiet. I nodded to them. I walked down the hall, to the front door. I grabbed my keys from the bowl. I put my shoes on. I could hear her mother, her voice high and confused. Where's he going? I opened the front door. I stepped out onto the porch. I closed the door behind me. I didn't slam it. I just shut it. I walked to my car. I got in. I started the engine. My phone, which I'd left on the passenger seat, lit up. A call from her. I declined it. I pulled out of their driveway. As I turned the corner, I saw the front door fly open. She was standing on the porch, her face a mask of confusion. I pulled over a block away, my hands shaking so hard I could barely type. I found a link I'd saved weeks ago when I first had a weird feeling. I texted it to her. Just a link. Prenup 101. What every couple needs to know. Her text started coming in. A flood. What was that? Are you coming back? My parents are furious. Then she called. I let it ring. And ring. Then I saw her in my rearview mirror. She was running down the middle of the street, in her nice dinner dress, waving her arms. Come back. I could hear her screaming, even through the glass. Come back. What are you doing? I put the car in drive. I hit the gas. And as I pulled away, I blocked her number. I blocked her parents. I blocked her sister. I was driving, but I'd never felt so in control in my life. The next 48 hours were a tactical operation. I got home, double-locked the door, and went straight to my home office. I changed every password. Banks, brokerage, for 01k, emails, social media. Two-factor authentication on all of it. We had a joint wedding account that I'd already put $30,000 into. Her? Zero. I called the bank's 24/7 fraud line, told them I had credible information of impending unauthorized access, and had the account frozen. I called my lawyer, my corporate lawyer, who I keep on retainer. It was 1 a.m. He picked up. I told him everything. The covenant. The 20% fee. There was a long pause. You didn't sign it, did you? I walked out. Good. Go to your condo. Lock the door. Do not talk to them. Record any voicemails. Save everything. I'm referring you to a family law attorney. She's a shark. You need a shark. These people aren't just greedy. That's desperate. The next day, the smear campaign began. Texts from mutual friends. Then the Facebook post from her mother. A long, vague novel about a young man who abandoned her daughter and broke her heart after their family offered him everything. My new lawyer, the shark, was amazing. This is good, she said. It establishes harassment. Now, let's talk about the wedding. Who paid for what? I pulled out my spreadsheet. I've paid $30,000 in non-refundable deposits, I said. Venue, caterer, band. And them? Her mother paid a $5,000 reservation fee for the florist, who happens to be her sister. Right. My lawyer said, so they're going to sue you. They'll try to get you for breach of promise, which is a non-starter in this state. But they'll try. When they do, we countersue. We go for your deposits. We'll argue that their covenant constituted fraudulent inducement. We'll bury them in discovery. The dirty tricks escalated. On Wednesday, I got a call from my head of engineering. Your future father-in-law just called my office line, he said. My blood turned to ice. What? Yeah. He said he had grave concerns about your mental stability. He said you were having a psychotic break and that you were a security risk to the company. He wanted to know who to talk to in legal to protect the company's IP from you. This was my job, my career. What did you say? I asked. I told him our company's security is robust, that you're one of my best engineers, and that this call felt inappropriate. Then I hung up and called you. What the heck is going on? I gave him the 60-second version. Understood, he said. I'm flagging this with HR and legal. We're locking his number from our system. But man, watch your back. They weren't just trying to get my money. They were trying to get me fired. They were trying to ruin me. That night, a thought hit me. My lawyer's word, desperate. The call to my boss. The 20% fee. This wasn't a retirement plan. This was a bailout. I'm an engineer. I find patterns. I started digging. Public records. They lived in a nice house, but property records showed it had been refinanced. Twice. In the last 3 years. Then I found my ex-fiancée's business. A little online boutique. I looked up the LLC. It was registered to her father. The business address was his office. He worked as a wealth manager. A small, independent firm. His firm, Family Stewardship, wasn't just a title for his creepy contract. It was the name of his company. I am very good at my job. My job is finding security flaws. I looked at his SEC registration. He was a registered investment advisor, RIA. This means he has to file a Form ADV with the SEC. It's public. I read it, all 50 pages, and I found it. In Schedule D, he listed my ex-fiancée's boutique. He claimed it was an affiliated business, and that he may recommend clients invest in this business. He was using his client's money to fund her failing boutique. But that was just the start. I kept looking. I found client reviews on a niche forum for high-net-worth investors. The reviews were bad. Assets mysteriously moved. Constant margin calls. Impossible to get my principal back. He wasn't a manager. He was a con artist. And then I found the real interconnected plot. He hadn't just funded her store. His own firm was in deep trouble. He'd made a bad leverage bet on a biotech stock, and it had been wiped out. He'd used client money. He was trying to cover a massive multi-million-dollar hole. The family stewardship agreement wasn't a prenup. It was a life raft. He wasn't trying to get 20% of my salary. He was trying to get 100% of my assets to plug the hole before his clients or the SEC found out. He would have drained my 401k and my brokerage account in days. My fiancée? Just sign it, she'd said. She wasn't a victim. She was a co-conspirator. She knew. Her boutique, her parents' lifestyle, it was all funded by theft. A week later, I was served. Just as my lawyer predicted. They were suing me, not for $30,000. They were suing me for $500,000. Breach of promise to marry. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Defamation. I was at my lawyer's office, and she was smiling. This is the single greatest gift they could have given us, she said. They're suing me for $500,000. No, she said, tapping the filing. They're committing to a narrative. They just voluntarily opened themselves up to full financial discovery to prove their damages. This is a catastrophic, desperate overplay. She was right. We filed our counterclaim for my $30,000, and then we served them with our discovery request. We asked for everything. While the legal clock was ticking, I gathered everything. The Form ADV, the forum posts, the public comments. I put it all in a neat, chronological digital folder. I didn't call my lawyer. I called the SEC. I used their official tip whistleblower online portal. I uploaded the entire folder. Anonymously. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. This is agent's name from the SEC's Enforcement Division. Am I speaking to my name? My blood froze. Yes. We received an anonymous tip regarding a registered investment advisor named her father's name. The digital file included metadata that, well, it pointed back to you. Darn it, I'd forgotten to scrub the metadata. Sir, the agent said, I'm not here to talk about your methods. I'm here because your anonymous tip just blew open a multi-million-dollar securities fraud case. We're moving on it. Fast. He explained they were securing warrants. He asked if I'd be willing to give a voluntary statement about the family stewardship agreement, which they were very interested in. It shows intent to defraud in a way we've never seen, he said. I'll be there this afternoon, I said. The climax wasn't dramatic courtroom showdown. It was something far more satisfying. We were scheduled for a mandatory settlement conference. Me, my lawyer, my ex-fiancée, her mother, her father, and their shell-shocked lawyer, all in a sterile conference room. Their lawyer started. My clients have suffered their reputation. My ex-father-in-law was glaring at me. My lawyer just smiled. We reject your client's ludicrous claims. We are here to collect $30,000 for my client's deposits. Pay it, and this all goes away. Don't, and we'll see you at trial. And we will be subpoenaing every single one of your wealth management clients as character witnesses. The father-in-law turned purple. The mother started to hyperventilate. You owe us. My ex-fiancée yelled, pointing at me. You were supposed to take care of us. You promised. I promised to marry you. I said, my voice dead calm. I didn't promise to be the getaway driver for your family's financial crimes. Her face collapsed. She knew. She knew I knew. You. Her father started, standing up, his chair scraping the floor. You little. Right at that exact moment, the conference room door opened. It wasn't a lawyer. It was two men and one woman in dark blue windbreakers with SEC on the back, and two uniformed police officers. Are you? The lead agent asked. He didn't speak. He just swayed. You are under arrest for multiple counts of securities fraud, wire fraud, and violations of the Investment Advisors Act. They cuffed him. Right there. His lawyer was speechless. On what grounds? I don't understand. He'll be appointed a public defender if he can't afford a criminal attorney, the agent said. Which, given the state of his accounts, he can't. Then, the lead agent looked at my ex-fiancée and her mother. Ma'am, we'll need to talk to you, too. Your names are on the LLCs and the bank accounts. Right now, you're witnesses. Don't leave town. My ex-fiancée fainted. Just slid right out of her chair onto the floor. Her mother just stood there, completely frozen, making a small, high-pitched E sound. My lawyer looked at their lawyer, who was just staring at his cuffed client being led away. So, my lawyer said, clicking her pen, about that $30,000. Their lawyer just nodded, dumbly. I'll have a check cut from my firm's trust account. Just sign the dismissal. We did. We signed it, and we walked out, stepping right over my ex-fiancée, who was now being attended by paramedics. The consequences were total. They lost everything. The father took a plea deal. He's serving 15 years in a federal prison. The feds seized the house, the cars, everything, to pay back the clients he defrauded. Her mother lives in a tiny apartment, working as a cashier. My ex-fiancée? She was charged as an accessory. Her boutique was ruled a material part of the fraud. She got 5 years probation and has to pay restitution. I saw her a few months ago. She was working the perfume counter at a department store. She saw me. I just kept walking. I got my $30,000 back. It cost me $15,000 in legal fees, but it was the best money I ever spent. I didn't just dodge a bullet. I dodged a financial black hole. I bought a new, very good, very expensive pen, and I keep in my car.